UK is the best food. Yeah, no, we'd kick your ass. We've just stolen from everyone else.
Who do we have here?
She's from a place of abundance. This is our destiny.
Chris, absolute pleasure to speak to you today, head of Furiosa, Mad Max Saga. Got to say, film's unbelievable.
Oh, thank you.
And you play such a good role in that
Thanks,
as
mate.
well. And it's a very intense watch and a very intense film. How do you get into the mindset, I suppose, to play such an intense character? Is there anything you do differently? Or?
Yeah, I mean, we had kind of 2 years of development with the character, and a lot of different inspirations come to mind. Depends what scene gets me kind of what is needed. And you know, like for instance, you know, the scene where he kind of basically throws a big violent tantrum. I was listening to a lot of kind of horrible, you know, death metal, you know, and things like that. And it was very disruptive within my kind of, between my ears and so on, and helped me get there. But kind of in the lead up to building the character, there was a sort of arrested development to the guy. You know, he was basically due to his own trauma and so on, a big kid. He'd never quite grown up, but a very violent, angry kid, but screaming for attention, screaming for love, screaming for, I don't know, everything. And so it was kind of fun to lean into that.
In terms of the actual film, it's had huge success in terms of reviews, and you got a big standing ovation at Cannes, and it looked like it was quite an emotional standing ovation as well, in terms of you've had a period of time out as well. So what was going through your head at that time when you were getting that ovation?
Oh, I was really nervous. You know, leading up to this, as we all, I think everyone is with the film. You work for years on it, and then, you know, you're kind of going, are people going to dismiss it in a heartbeat, or they're going to, you know, appreciate it? And particularly at the Cannes Film Festival, I've heard that people, you know, can boo you out of the cinema. And so that was a terrifying thing to sit there and wait to see what the reaction was. And yeah, it just meant so much to me to have people receive the film like that. But what really affected me was when I turned to George and he had tears in his eyes and he said, oh, I think they like it, you know, and he's been making these films for 45 years, and I think he's 70-something years old, and to still have that kind of passion and humility, you know, and sort of, I don't know, want for an audience to appreciate the experience and have a good time and be transported to another world. And so, yeah, just collectively, it was just kind of surreal and wonderful.
In terms of a post-apocalyptic world, it's terrifying to watch, and it also makes you think, oh God, what would happen if it actually happened? So say if we were in a scenario where that did happen, would you back yourself to thrive and survive?
I mean, yeah, you got to back yourself, though. You know, I wouldn't kind of offer myself up as fodder for, you know, one of the other warlords. I'd sort of get in there and try and survive, you know. What would be my skill set? I don't know, probably some sort of resilience in there somewhere. I think I'm a good team player, you know. I think I'd be good at sort of reading people and looking for the strengths and weaknesses, and then sort of collecting the right crew to build that would be a formidable force within the Wasteland. You know? What
would your strategy be in terms of where you go? Because I was speaking to Paul Rudd about this. I've got a fond affliction with IKEA, but we've got a massive one where I'm from, and it's huge. So you can sort of just base yourself there. So
in IKEA?
Yeah, it's massive, man. It is. So
I don't think it's an IKEA in the Wasteland.
What would you? You never know. What would your strategy be?
What would my strategy be? What, to survive?
To survive, yeah. What would your weapon choice be? How would you go about it?
I mean, the big monster truck's cool, but I think the motorbikes are far more versatile. You know, he calls them the camel of the Wasteland, and I like the nimble sort of quality to it. I think I would stick to the biker gang sort of scenario. But again, making sure each person had some sort of unique talent. You know, you have someone who, you know, understands how to find water, firstly, because it's the resource we definitely can't survive without. And this is what they're fighting over for most of the film. You have a good chef in there somewhere. What else? You got to have someone's going to fashion up some pretty cool leather-bound outfits. So, costume design, the Wasteland's very important. The flamboyance of it. No, it's not really, but in this film it is.
There's a friendly rivalry as well between us and Aussies.
Yeah.
So, who would you back then? If there was 100 Brits and 100 Aussies in a post-apocalyptic world, who do you think would thrive better?
I wouldn't be allowed back in my country if I said anything but us. Would I? Yeah, no, we'd kick your ass. I reckon we'd all come together. I mean, probably be related in some way, shape, or form. We go, okay, what are we doing, guys? Let's all just join forces, and then we'll be even more effective. You know, we're smart enough to figure that out.
Take on the Americans as well, and then you had to eat human. You didn't, but in the film you have to eat human, which takes me perfectly onto who's got the better food out of UK and Australia as well.
Ooh, I mean, we as a sort of, you know, a much younger sort of kind of community, we've just stolen from everyone else, you know, and we've kind of gone, oh, you know, Japanese food, great, you know, Lebanese community, Lebanese food, Greek food, Italian, Chinese food, you know, so we've got a multicultural sort of space. I love the food that's available in Australia. I remember coming to the UK sort of 10, 12 years ago, and everyone's like, oh, the food's not very good. The food here is now incredible, though. You know, you know, both. Is that a bit?
It's very, very political. Yeah, very nice.
Yeah. Where's this airing, in Australia or
UK?
UK is the best food, of course.
Well, Chris, absolute pleasure to speak to you today. Unbelievable film,
Thanks
unbelievable
so much.
performance, and can't wait to see you again.
Appreciate it, mate.
Absolute pleasure, man.
Thank
Absolute
you.
pleasure. It
Thanks
wasn't
so
the
much.
best handshake, but it was all right.
Appreciate
Appreciate it, man.
Okay.